Kuzuzangpo, I'm Ashok Tirwa. This week in the business file, we have Thimphu Thrompon to talk on the parking fees in Thimphu. Kuzuzangpo sir, and welcome to business file. And let's start with what are the reasons for charging a parking fees?
I think to start with, parking fees has been introduced quite some time back. I think right now we are already into the 5th or 6th year of imposing fees for the availing the space to park the cars. I think we have increased the parking fee mainly on ground of two reasons. Firstly, we wanted to provide opportunities for everyone to have the place to park. Say suppose somebody is coming to the market to buy some stuff, they don't find parking space because the parking fee was very little. So that's the very reason why we increase the parking fee, so that people will buy and go. They will not stay there for long, not giving opportunity for others to park. That was our basic reason that we discussed in our meeting as well, to say that yes, we need to increase the parking fees. Secondly, we have shortage of parking space in Thimphu. I think everybody is aware that now we have over 30,000 cars in Thimphu. And the main area where congestion occurs is mainly within the core area, the Norin Lam, the Changlam. And these are areas where the business center is, where all the shops are. And if we don't provide parking facilities, then the congestion is going to be even worse. So therefore, we increase parking fees mainly to also increase the revenue that we collect, so that we can invest into parking. We develop parking spaces in and around the core area, so that there can be less congestion in the core area. So therefore, it's basically we are trying our best to, from both angles, to say that yes, the parking spaces are very limited. And if you would like, please avail bus services, or you walk to the core area.
When you're charging a parking fees, has that reduced congestions? Because the people have observed that it hasn't in any ways reduced the congestion.
That is now, different people have different opinions. As far as I could observe that, especially the Norin Lam, where we have increased by almost 3 times, there we could at least find parking when you are driving around. I've experienced 2 or 3 times that yes, I could find a parking slot, but maybe it could be different timing and different time of the day or different day of the week that I must have been there. But definitely situation has improved, but maybe not for everyone. So it depends on your luck or the day that you visit the city. So to my opinion, it has helped a lot.
No, the other thing is you have raised parking fees several times over the last few years. So have you got a consent from Ministry of Finance, or have you done it on your own?
See, this is a practice being carried out maybe 5-6 years ago. I think Thimphu City had been a Thimphu City Corporation, where it was run by a city committee, which consists of so many stakeholders. And in the past, I used to be also on that city committee while I was serving in the Bhutan Power Corporation. So we have come across water charges being approved by the city committee. Likewise, even parking fee was also finalized in one of the city committees. So relating to those, we have done this time as well. But as far as we at city level is concerned, we are well within our Local Government Act, which says that for taxes, definitely we will have to go to the Parliament. But for services, fees and charges, I think it is...
You still have to get permission from the Ministry of Finance?
No, it has to be within the municipality. As far as the law is, that is how we interpret.
When you are raising a parking fees from 5 to 10 to 15, some people have discussed that, pointed out that not in a public, but to a journalist like us, they have said that has the value of money gone down over the years? I was trying to show that.
We have only two reasons. We want to increase the revenue and also to decongest the area. Now, if you have more revenue with us, we could build more and more parking spaces. I think government has limited resources. They need to look after the whole country. And for every little bit of budgetary constraint, we cannot approach the government. That's the very reason why I think local governments are created. We should be, in the long run, be sustainable, be able to manage our own resources and have adequate spaces, parking spaces, recreational parks. All these are, I think it is time that local governments should try to work on this and gather enough revenue, resources so that we could build our own parking spaces, recreational spaces, football grounds. I feel this is what we are.
So how do you want to create a parking space? Are you trying to build a parking lots?
Yeah, see, wherever we have spaces, like in Changsamto, in Changpangdu, or wherever you see a small piece of land available besides the road, we try to convert that into a parking space by hard topping the area so that people can park in those spaces. So likewise, if we have land even in the core city, we tend to develop that into parking space because there is real parking shortages. The other thing is we are developing a multi-storied parking, which is in the place called close to the Bank of Bhutan. It's the Santoperi shopping complex area.
So it's next to the Santoperi shopping
next
complex
to
area,
that.
where you have a huge
area. So that's going to be multi-storied parking space. So
do you have money to build that now?
No, right now we are exploring the public-private partnership opportunities because even the International Finance Corporation, IFC, is a part of World Bank, has also come in to help us. We have already done the feasibility study. We are going to now do the detailed studies based on which we are going to float a tender whereby we invite interested people to come and participate, build the facility, run it after that. So we are looking and exploring various options as to make parking spaces available.
So which means in that area, even the private investors can come in and
yes.
How is that going to
It's
work?
commercially viable, actually. See, from cities' perspective, we provide the land, we facilitate them to come and invest, and then after that is done, then they can run it depending on their investment. They can say we will run it for 20 years, or they can, depending on the investment, they can say even 15 years. So based on which we will go ahead, have the facility in place, we will monitor, we will regulate how much they are going to charge as parking fee. So those things can be controlled and regulated by us. But parking area will be then fully run by the private. So they may pay us some revenue, which is called revenue sharing, or they will, run the whole parking lot. It is definitely going to be commercially viable. And there may be few spaces even for shopping area. Like few stores will also be allowed in that.
Within that parking space?
Yeah, parking space.
So other suggestions that has come about is some people are of the view that why not we make this Norin Lam as car free? Let people walk there.
Definitely.
Do you see that possibility?
Yes. Actually, that is one of my priorities because that is as per our Thimphu structural plan. Thimphu structural plan is for 25 years. It is supposed to happen within that 25 years. But I see that that should happen now because it is the time for us to bring in change. See, everybody wants to buy cars. Now we want to convey this message to the public saying that now we have enough cars. Stop thinking of buying more cars because we don't have parking spaces. we have congested roads. So therefore, pedestrianization of Norin Lam is considered very top priority now. But pending this multi-floor parking and also pending the widening of the roads close to that parking area, we foresee a lot of issues, a lot of congestions if we straight away pedestrianize Norin Lam. We need to have other roads opened up at the back. Like we are trying to open a road through the Imtrad. They have agreed to allow us build a road which will connect this road to the road which is connecting the Chorten.
This road is one that is behind Norin Lam.
Yeah, the road which is in front of our
So
office.
it will connect the one
connect it
to the road that is coming down from
Chorten.
Chorten.
So that will give us another option for people to travel by the back if the front is closed. So that option we need to open up. Now without doing this, if you try to pedestrianize, maybe 1-2 days, 1 week is fine. But to continue as for long would be quite difficult in the long run. So seeing those problems, we are now working hard on the multi-story parking as well as widening the road at the backside, meaning the Changshub Lam, the Fende Lam, and connecting to the parking lot.
So won't that affect the business of the shops that are along the Norin Lam?
In my opinion, it would not.
How is that?
Because you visit any country, there are pedestrianized areas. There are locations where people love to walk with their families, with their friends, go for shopping, go for some drinks. Once Norin Lam is closed, we are even thinking that there should be coffee shops, there should be fast food shops, left, right, where people can stop, eat, drink, sit, watch,
Without having to worry about whether they will be hit by a car or
Yes. So at the worst case, we may allow, if our public transport becomes very efficient, we can allow the bus to run through Norin Lam. That will be the maximum that we are going to consider. But pedestrianization of Norin Lam is going to benefit, in my opinion, everyone. We would love to walk and just go by and drink and buy, do shopping from the stores, and so it is definitely going to be beneficial for everyone.
Interesting thing that you mentioned earlier is that you are also encouraging people to take public service like bus service.
Yeah.
How is that feasible if somebody has to go for shopping?
See, bus services is the option that we are left with to decongest our city. I see no other options available. We cannot build flyovers. We cannot widen the roads. We cannot have more parking spaces. We are already exhausted. We are at that limit that there's no other means than to explore public transport. And in my opinion, if there are good buses regularly on time, whether there is anybody staying at the bus stop or not, if the bus passes that stop every 10 minutes, I think there will be takers. There will be riders. And to begin with, even government can subsidize. I have proposed this option to the government as well, that there are, I think in Thimphu the maximum are the civil servants. I said, why don't the government provide subsidy to buy bus carts, say for a month, for a year. If the bus cart costs, say, 1,000, let the government pay around 600 to 700 to begin with, and let the civil servant pay 200 to 300. And if buses are good, if government supports in this subsidy aspects, definitely I think everybody would want to leave behind the car and travel by buses, because the cost to the private individual is going to reduce so much. But at the same time, I don't think it's a huge cost to the government. I think government has to look to the other aspect. Suppose the public transport doesn't do well in Thimphu. What is the option left? Go for flyovers. Flyovers are going to cost the government so much. Spoil the beauty of the city. Flyovers are definitely going to block all the good architecture that we have on our buildings. And it's definitely going to spoil the aesthetic. It's definitely going to cost the government tremendously. So therefore, I said, let us begin, introduce good buses, and let the government, civil servants, be given bus cards which are subsidized. Let it be 70% subsidized today. After 1 year, reduce that to 60%. After next year, reduce further. And a day will come that everybody would want to travel by buses. But buses will have to be comfortable. Air conditioning, heating system in winter is most essential. And buses should operate regularly and should not operate on cash transactions, because that's where we lose out. It should be all operated on electronic tickets, and everybody then will like to avail that facility. Even for my own case, if there's a bus service and you pay, if you're going to buy for a ticket which is going to be 1 year valid and which is going to be 50% cheaper, I would definitely buy that.
But provided the bus service has to be comfortable, reliable.
Yes, reliable and safe.
Safe. So how much of parking fees do you collect in a year?
I think that has been contracted out to contractors, and they pay us on a quarterly basis. So the present contract is for 2 years, and they are paying around 20 million for 2 years.
Because one reason that I heard is you have raised the parking fees. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Because they were complaining that they didn't have enough profit when the parking fees was just 5 Newton.
I don't believe. I think it was poorly managed. The previous contractor even had problem to have enough parking fee collectors. So that must have been an issue. It is a profitable business if you can manage it properly. So therefore, I don't believe that it is too less to make them, benefit out of it, and because of which we had to raise the parking fee. No, that's totally incorrect.
So when you contract out the parking fees to the private entrepreneurs, so what is the revenue in that?
We collect around 20 million in 2 years. So it's about 10 million a year.
Even after raising the parking fees?
Yes. Previously it's lower than that. So with the raise in parking fee, it has increased.
So how do you use that money?
See, that money will be used in wherever we have deficient budget, like repairing roads, meeting water supply, improving other services in the system. We can even plow back to improve parking facilities. And of course that revenue doesn't come all in one go. It is coming in a installment basis, which is in 3 months they pay a certain amount, which needs to be accumulated to do some big work. So therefore, we are going to plow back into the system in improving services to the public. It's not going anywhere.
So is it enough? That's what I'm trying to find out.
It's not enough. So the taxes are very low. The fees and charges are very low. Compared with any country in the world, we have the minimum taxes. The land tax is very bare minimal. Actually, if we can raise the land taxes, I don't think we need any support of the government. We have enough money.
How far do you want to raise the fees and other charges?
We would raise, which is, in my opinion, be affordable for the public. It's clearly mentioned in the Local Government Act that we can raise, but it cannot be oppressive. It cannot be to the extent that people cannot afford to pay. So within that, keeping those things in mind, and we decide this in our council meeting where the local elected representatives are member to the council meeting. Now they can always raise their views. So it actually is being democratically decided as to whether increase or not increase, or the increase could be this much or this much. So it's not entirely done by the Thrompon, you know. It's a thing done by the elected representatives.
So what are the other changes that we are going to see in terms of parking fees? Are you going to raise it further? Or
not for the next 2 years. Maybe after we expire the contract with the existing contractor, maybe we might review whether we need to increase or we can keep it at the same. That may also depend on the parking lot being constructed.
The other thing is now, when will we see this Norin Lam be free of cars? That it will be turned into a pedestrian street.
See, I'm a very optimistic man. I would always think that it is possible.
It is possible, but...
And we work towards achieving that. And say 1 year back, my target was to have this ready by end of 2013, meaning the parking lot and widening of the roads be completed by end of 2013. So that by 2014, beginning 2014, we could pedestrianize Norin Lam. But right now, we are still working on this tendering business with the support of IFC. We are yet to finalize this. And after that is done, tendering process and contract award, construction. So we may spill over 2013, but definitely mid of 2014, we are hopeful that the parking lot will be in place. And then widening of the roads in that vicinity will also be completed. Now, once that is completed, then we want to start pedestrianization of Norin Lam.
So it's going to be more beautiful than what it is, cleaner,
yes,
and better drainage system. Because
better.
In summer, what we see in the Norin Lam, I don't think there is a sewage oozing out in the middle of the street.
See,
so all those things will be fixed.
It has all its own stories to tell. Norin Lam, I don't know when it was built. Who knows? I don't know. The drains there, the look of the drains, the condition of the drains is really in pathetic condition. And in the past, even the sewerage network is not properly managed. People did what they want, connect their gutter water to the sewerage. Whenever there is heavy rain, the roof water also connects to the sewerage network. Now that network is not meant for surface water to go inside. It is only meant for the connection of all the septic tanks or the dirty water connection from the houses. But then people did not use it properly. So that is the result that we have problem. Whenever there is a rain, the network gets congested and it oozes out. So we are trying our best. We are educating the landlords, the building owners, that they have to disconnect. The gutter water, the rainwater from the roof, is supposed to be joining the surface drain, not into the network. So with this effort in place, we try every now and then to inspect and disconnect. I think by next monsoon, we should not be facing this problem.
So on that very good note, I'd like to wish you all the best in your endeavor to make this Thimphu into a beautiful city. And probably what people are hoping for is no further rise in parking fees in the near future. That's what you have guaranteed to us, at least for another 2 years. Right. And thank you for joining us. And I'd also like to thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And with that note, I'd also like to thank our viewers for joining us. Do join us every Tuesday on this program called Business File. I'm your host, Ashok Tirwa. This is goodbye.